Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Sofie Nisa. In this opportunity, I would like to explain about the topic of current conditions of environmental law in Indonesia. Mostly, the environmental problems in Indonesia are related with the increasing number of population in Indonesia, which currently in the development of industrialization. And unfortunately, now the Indonesian government are still finding the best solution to solving the environmental problems. Okay, in this slide, I would like to talk about the various environmental problems in Indonesia. And the first problem are large-scale deforestation in Indonesia. Large-scale deforestation are still doing legally by some of people in Indonesia. And the second problem is forest fire. Forest fire in Indonesia are still exist because some of people burning the forest without any reason and causing pollution until Malaysia, Singapore, and Brunei Darussalam, or we can say that it causing transboundary haze pollution. And the next is habitat destruction, which threatens the survival of native and endemic species, including 114 mammals species that have been identified by the World Conservation Union, and there are 15 identified animals are in the critical condition. And the next problem is rapid urbanization and economic development, which consists of air pollution, traffic congestion, waste management, and reliable water. And all those problems are actually still solved by the Indonesian government by ensuring the legal certainty and in environmental sector.
Okay, law enforcement is referred in Dutch rechtshandhaving. The definition of law enforcement is the process of making effort to uphold or function legal norms in a real way as a code of conduct in traffic or legal relation in social life with a group, or legal relation in social life with a group of human who are closely intertwined because of certain system, certain tradition, certain convention and laws that are the same and lead to collective life system in society are in content between one human on another human, forming a unity and not forgetting instant life. The next law enforcement requirement, number 1, law or UU, 2, law enforcement officer, 3, society. The requirement for law enforcement need to pay attention to legal principle, namely first, the law itself, which fulfills an judicial element of an adequate law. The second is law enforcement official who do development law. The third is society. And the society that is enforcement must be accept the law and be well regulated. The fourth is supporting facilitate and infrastructure. Therefore, in the enforcement law, the four conditions must exist. Because if one of them is not good, then the law cannot be enforced. Law enforcement environment is very complicated because environmental law cross various fields of classical law. Each of these fields of legal sense can be applied to address enforcemental problems such as administrative administrative law, civil law, criminal law, tax law, international law. In the law enforcement system, the enforcement in Indonesia is no job 3 legal aspect in the UU PPLH, namely aspect of administrative law, civil law, and criminal law. Law enforcement for each of the different aspects, namely the administrative aspect by the administration or the government, the civil aspect by the injured party.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Faruq Balvah. Here I can explain about environmental law enforcement through civil aspect. Alright, so civil law aspect in environmental management are one aspect of environmental law enforcement with the occurrence of environmental pollution and destruction. There will be victim of pollution and destruction in the sense of being the injured parties, and the injured parties can be an individual, the community, or state. In the Indonesia, UU PPLH, Undang-Undang Perlindungan Pengelolaan Lingkungan Hidup or Environmental Management Protection Law. The process of environmental law enforcement through civil procedures is regulated in Chapter 13, Article 84 to 93. Aspect civilization as stated in this article contains the settlement of environmental dispute which can be pursued through court litigation or non-litigation. Number 85. Article number 85 states that dispute settlement outside the court had to reach an agreement regarding the form and amount of compensation, remedial measures due to pollution or damage, regarding certain action to ensure that pollution or destruction will not occur, and to prevent negative impact on the environmental in resolving dispute outside the court. Natural third-party service can be used to help resolve environmental dispute. Next, article number 86. So, article number 86 states that the government and community can form a free and impartial service provider for environment dispute resolution service. The settlement of environmental dispute through the court is regulated in Environmental Management Protection Law or UU PPLH, Undang-Undang Perlindungan dan Pengelolaan Lingkungan Hidup. Artikel 87 to Article 92. Article 87 paragraph 1 states that each the pursuit in charge of a business an activity that has committed an offense law in the form of environmental pollution and damage causing harm to other people, or the environment is obligated to pay compensation and tax certain occurs. Alright. Next, article number 88. Article number 88 is states that every person whose action, business, and activity use B3 produces and manages B3 waste which creates a serious threat to the environment is absolutely responsible for the loss incurred without the need to prove the element of error. There is a class action mechanism such as a victim in large number. Class action is a procedural in a civil case that grants the procedural right of one or several people acting as plaintiffs to fight for the interest of the court, known as class members who experience similarities suffering or loss. This is regulated in Article 91 as well in Article 90 through 92. It regulates the provision and explain regarding the rights environmental organization. Thank you.
Okay guys, I will continue these presentations, and here we're going to talk about the conclusion of these presentations based on what my friends have said before in this presentation. So we can conclude that law enforcement is a process of making efforts to uphold or function legal norms as a code of conduct in traffic or legal relation in public and state life. In the environmental law enforcement system in Indonesia, there are three legal aspects described in the Environmental Protect and Management Law, or UUPPLH. So, namely, the first is in administrative law, second is civil law, and the third is criminal law. The aspect of civil law in environmental management is one of aspects of environmental law enforcement. In UUPPLH, or we can say Environmental Protection and Management Law, the process of environmental law enforcement through civil procedure is regulated in Chapter 13, Articles 84 until 93. The civil aspect listed in these articles contains the settlement of environmental disputes that can be pursued through court or litigations by means of arbitrations, mediations, negotiations, and conciliations, or through outside court or non-litigation by means of absolute responsibility, class actions, and environmental organization rights to sue. This can be selected based on the voluntary choice of the disputing parties.